The world's best flavor? We might not be exaggerating. Today we're going to introduce you to a plant that many have heard of but few have actually tasted. It's called Meadow Sweet, Queen of the Meadow, or Meadowsweet, and it's a plant with not only an unbelievable flavor but with many traditional uses as well. In folk traditions, Meadowsweet was used to make love potions, and in Welsh mythology, Gwydion and Math took the flowers of the oak and the flowers of the broom and the flowers of the meadowsweet, and from those they conjured up the fairest and most beautiful maiden anyone had ever seen, who later became a goddess of wild places. One of its names, Meadswort, reminds us that it was and still can be used to flavor mead, and modern science tells us that it contains salicylic acid. In fact, in 1899, the Bayer Company used salicylic acid from Meadowsweet to synthesize acetyl salicylic acid, better known as aspirin. Let's learn to identify Meadowsweet and use its flowers to create a truly sublime Meadowsweet syrup that can flavor desserts, teas, and much more. Because its flavor is so strong, you can use just a little to get big flavor in your foods. But first, let's watch as we utterly fail to adequately describe Meadowsweet's flavor. Okay, so what does this taste like? How do we explain the taste?
The oddest thing about it is that it seems really familiar. And I've been trying to think, what is it that tastes like this that I've had before? Or where am I getting that familiarity from?
Some people say a mixture of almond and vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can get the almond in there a little bit. But it's just so unique. It's sweet, and I want to say it's very delicate, but it's also not mild. I mean, the flavor is there.
Well, it's potent, but yes, still delicate
But
at
it
the
isn't
same
as-
time that it's strong.
Yeah.
That's what makes this flavor so amazing.
It's really sublime.
Sublime. You know, I remember
Yeah.
the first time I ever heard that word, sublime. And I thought, what could this apply to? It applies to this
Wait.
flavor.
Not me?
Oh, gosh.
Besides me. No, it's really unique, and if you get a chance to try it, there's some flavors you just can't explain. Well, actually, what flavor can you truly explain? I mean,
But usually you can say it's like something that people are familiar with. And
yeah.
this, I don't think there's anything quite like it.
If you think of something that it's like, tell us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let us know.
that would be really, really fun. Then we can go side by side.
I'm back in the herb garden to show you this amazing plant up close and personal so that you can ID it with confidence. Meadowsweet is a plant that likes moist ground. It has beautiful white flowers that almost look like they're a mist. Up close we can see the distinctive buds that look like they're round when seeing them from afar, but up close look like little overstuffed boxes. There are 4 to 5 petals, but remember the petals fall off very easily as the flowers are getting on, and so sometimes you're going to see 3, 2, or no petals at all. Notice the very long stamens. This is what gives the flower its misty appearance. Once we know to look for that, we might be able to spot it among other plants that look vaguely similar. The leaves are very distinctive. Look at that lobing and the jagged edges. The tip, we're often going to have this basically 3-lobed leaf. There's those 2 little extras down there that sometimes make it look like it has 5, but those 3 will be very distinctive. And then these opposite leaves traveling downward. See the little wings in between? And the even smaller wings between those, and the even smaller wings between those. The stem is squarish. Not quite the sharp angular squarish that you'd find on a mint, but squarish nonetheless. Up at the top, it can appear more round, but it still is going to have kind of ridges and look, well, not smooth. Another distinguishing characteristic are these clasping leaves wherever it branches. It almost looks like a little heart that surrounds each stem. The last way to identify this is by its scent and its taste. The leaves have a subtle scent that is difficult to describe, but it's to me a little cucumbery. It almost smells sweetly moist, if that makes sense. The flowers, however, have a scent that is going to be reminiscent of the taste that we're going to get from these flowers. Something sweet and delicious between almond and vanilla. When you eat the flowers, you're going to taste that, but there is something that almost lingers on the edge of bitterness without actually being bitter. It's a strongness to the flavor that is difficult again to describe, but once you taste it, you'll be able to look at a plant that you think is meadow sweet, take a quick smell or a tiny little taste, and be absolutely sure. The taste is unmistakable. To make a syrup that will capture the essence of this flower, first pick some flower heads. You can leave the stems on. For this recipe, we're gathering 20 medium flower heads or about 15 larger ones. Choose ones that have the most open flowers you can find. In Wisconsin, these often flower throughout the month of July. Of course, enjoy the beauty of the surrounding plants. Here, culver's root stuns with its curling, alien beauty. Put your flower heads in a ceramic pot and add 8 cups of water. Add 8 cups of organic cane sugar. Turn on the heat to medium-high, stir a bit, and take the time to smell the unbelievable scent. To really make this shine, bring it to a boil and then turn off the heat, leaving the pot overnight for the flavors to really get extracted. If you're in a rush, just bring to a light boil and reduce by 1/3 or 1/2 if you think you're going to store it for over 3 months. Strain, keep it in the refrigerator, and use it to tantalize your taste buds. Here's a few ideas for what you can do with it. Flavor shave ice. Make jello. Use instead of vanilla to flavor cakes, frostings, or panna cotta. Mix into a milkshake. Mix into seltzer or sparkling water. Drizzle over ice cream. What do you think?
Very good. I think the flavor of this is how good our life is.
For a more adult version, or to store it for longer periods, make a 25% alcohol using an organic vodka. I'll include a link to a calculator in the video description. Enter in the amount of Meadow Sweet syrup you're using under the water weak alcohol in the calculator, the percent alcohol of your vodka, and it will tell you how much vodka to add. This makes an incredible shelf-stable liqueur. Let us know if you find this, if you try out the recipe, if you have other ways that you use Meadow Sweet. Such an amazing herb. We would love to learn from you. Thanks for watching. Love to you all.